Welcome to the first part of our 3-part lower body flexibility follow-along series. In this episode, we're going to go through roughly a 10-minute follow-along aimed at the beginner or entry-level flexibility. Coming up in the next levels, we're going to increase the difficulty, so stick around for those. We're going to start this exercise with some hamstring and calf stretching. So before we get started, make sure you've got a thick resistance band, a belt or a towel, something that you can pull on your leg with. So now you've got your band, we're going to go into the laying position and we're going to stretch one leg at a time. So take your band, loop it over the ball of your foot, and from here, you're just going to pull your leg into a moderate stretch here. And from here, we're going to start doing some calf raises. So we're going to push into plantar flexion and then pull deep into dorsiflexion. So toes towards you. And we're going to do this for 10 repetitions. So that's 2, pulling deep, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And from here, we're going to increase that stretch and pull in deeper. And then hold for 10 seconds. Try to actively pull your leg in, sucking that femur into your hip joint. So you're pulling your leg higher as well as using the assistance of the band to increase that stretch. Once you've held for that 10 seconds, we're going to repeat that cycle again. So we're going to start those calf raises again. So 1, 2, and 3. Remember, pulling your toes quite hard towards you to get that calf stretch. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now I'm going to pull deeper again. Good, and we're just going to swap over to the other leg now. And again, just pulling into a fairly decent stretch in that hamstring. And then we're going to start those calf raises. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now pulling deeper again. Also try and use your hip flexors like I said before. We're trying to actually pull this leg up actively as well as using that band to assist us in that movement. Again, we're just going to hold here for 10 seconds. Great, and we're going to start those calf raises again. Should be able to feel that intensity in the back of the calf as well when you're pulling your toes towards you. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm just going to intensify that stretch again, pulling deeper. Holding this last one for 10 seconds. Great, and from here, we're then going to start stretching the other side. So we're going to go into a quad stretch. We're going to do this one leg at a time. So what you're going to do is just tuck your heel towards your bum, place it underneath you, and you're going to kind of just lean back into the stretch. As much as you want to lean back and you're feeling a stretch through the quad, potentially up into the top of the hip as well. And we're just going to hold this stretch for about 30 seconds. If you feel your knee lifting off the floor, try to actively push that knee into the floor by tensing your glute and your hamstrings. And we swap to the other side. Great, and now we're going to work into the hip adductors, and we're going to do this through a squatting position. So you're going to take quite a wide squat, so feet slightly wider than shoulder width, maybe 1.5 times shoulder width. And from here, you're going to come as deep into the squat as you can, but we're going to use a little bit of assistance here to make it a bit easier. So either elbows on knees or hands on knees, and you're going to use your hands or your elbows to push your knees out. So you're going to try and open up your hip adductors here. So you're using this to press your knees out and get a stretch through the inside of the thigh. And we're just going to hold this position again for 30 seconds. So let's hold it here for another 20 seconds from now. And the aim of this, as well as pushing out, is also trying to get depth in the squat. So try and come deeper throughout this whole stretch. Great, and we're going to come back down to the floor after that squat. And from here, we're going to work on some internal rotation of the hip. So this one's going to help with those drop knees, getting the hips closer to the wall. So from a laying position, try to have sort of 90-degree bend at the knee. So you'll have a bit of distance between your bum and your heels. And you're going to allow your knees to drop in, so coming into internal rotation. To increase the stretch, you're just going to walk your feet out and drop in. And if you're not feeling a stretch yet, through the outside of the hip, keep walking out and drop in. You're going to have to actively draw your knees in together. See, if I just relax, they kind of bounce out a bit. So we're going to squeeze, bring your knees together, and you'll feel a stretch develop, and you deepen the outside of the hip. You're just going to hold this actively, pulling your knees in together for 30 seconds. You might find as you progress through the stretch, you can slowly increase the width between your knees and get a little bit more internal rotation. If you're struggling to keep that distance, bring them back in a bit more. Great, and from here, we're then going to also work on a glute stretch. So to do this, from exactly the same position, feet about shoulder width apart, you're going to bring your foot over the top and rest your ankle on your knee. And from here, I want you to dive one hand in between your legs and grab your knee, and other hand on the outside, grab your knee. From here, you're just going to bring your knee in towards your chest until you feel a stretch develop on the outside of this glute. So that bent leg, that's where you're going to feel that stretch on the outside of your glute. And you're just going to draw that knee in until you feel that stretch develop. Try not to bring your back off the floor. Try and keep your lower back on the floor and just create that movement at the hip, not in your back. And from here, again, it's a 30-second hold. So from here, we're going to hold for another 20 seconds. Great, we're just going to swap over to the other side. So knee comes across, ankle on that knee, go in between, pull that leg into a stretch. Right, and one last stretch. We're just gonna work a little bit on some rotation of the spine. So from the same position again, we can then drop one leg over the other. So you're this cross-legged position. Arms are gonna come out, so your back of your hands on the floor. Just want you to roll to the side. And you're gonna get this nice stretch through the side, perhaps into your QL and your lower back. And you're gonna try, if you can, keeping this shoulder the opposite to where you're twisting. Try and keep that shoulder on the floor so you've got that good rotation. I'm just gonna hold here for 10 seconds. So I'm gonna hold this for another 5 seconds here. I'm gonna go and just swap legs. I'm gonna go to the other side. So letting that drop towards the floor. Trying to keep my shoulder on this side touching the floor. Again, for 10 seconds here. I'm gonna hold this for another 5. Yeah, I'm just gonna repeat this one more time on each side. Okay, and that's us done. I hope you enjoyed that follow along session. Feel free to repeat it again or come back as many times as you like. If you feel like you're just getting warmed up, do watch out because level 2 and then level 3 is going to ramp up the difficulty again. Those videos are coming out really soon, so click that subscribe button and click that bell to make sure you get a notification. They'll be here really soon.